In this video, we will see how to do a complete CNC machine tending application using Deploy. The powerful Deploy platform allows you to reduce the deployment time of a CNC application by up to 90% compared to the conventional solutions available until now. This CNC application cell layout consists of blank cylindrical workpieces presented in an inclined in-feed system where gravity ensures that the parts are placed in their correct position. A tray outfeed system to place the machined parts. A CNC lathe machine with automatic chuck and door. A robot with 2-3 FG15 grippers to optimize cycle time and minimize the machine's idle time. A blow nozzle for cleaning the machined workpieces before unloading them from the machine. And finally, the all-in-one OR base module to connect the robot, tools and all other components for this application and to log into Deploy. The OR machine module is also used for its relays to control the machine and its isolated inputs to get feedback from it. Let's log into Deploy to build the application. Keep in mind that Deploy is not limited to this application only. You can always select and build other applications available in the Deploy platform. Deploy automatically detects and configures most of the connected hardware and gives us a very simple overview of the components required for the application. Deploy works with many of the leading robot brands. Watch the robot configuration videos to see how to connect and use your robot from the Deploy interface. After connecting the robot, start by setting the robot's home position. It is recommended to define this position at a high place where the robot can be switched on and off safely and does not block the operator's access to the inside of the machine. Let's add the remaining devices for this application. It is possible to run a CNC application without sensors in the in-feed or out-feed systems. For this to work, the operator must fill the in-feed and empty the out-feed trays before running the program. The other option is to add sensors so that the program automatically detects if there is a part available to pick up or space to place it after machining. Just select if you are detecting a single part or a container of parts. In this cell, we will not use any sensors. Now we will add the CNC machine. Deploy eases the connection between the robot and CNC machine, and it can be connected via Ethernet-based protocols such as Ethernet IP or digital signals, as in this case. First, we need to select if it is a lathe or milling machine. Deploy is compatible with both types of machines and will automatically adjust its graphical interface and application parameters accordingly. To avoid collisions when the robot moves inside the machine, let's define the size of the chuck's jaw. Now we will set the position where the robot will wait for the machine to finish. This position must be in front of the door, considering that the robot must be able to reach it from the in-feed and then move from here to the out-feed. Next, we'll configure the machine functions that we want Deploy to control and monitor. These will depend on the configuration and program of your CNC. We'll start by mapping the correct pin assignments for the cycle start, program end, open and close chuck functions. If no feedback signal is used, we can disable it and the robot will wait the set time before continuing. Deploy gives you the flexibility to configure the machine device according to your needs. For example, the CNC program could control the opening and closing of the door, and the robot will only wait for the program end signal to enter the machine. Or Deploy could open the door after the machine sends it the program end signal. Both options are valid, just enable or disable the functions as needed. Lastly, we will add and configure the output signal needed to activate the cleaning nozzle attached to the robot. Once we completed the cell setup, we're ready to move on to defining the workspace. Deploy will create the robot motion required for the application. Here, in the workspace, we can easily add any obstacles or cell boundaries to ensure collision-free robot movement. To add a boundary, simply add an obstacle, resize it, and position it following the direction of the robot or world axis. Not all physical objects need to be added, just those that look in the way of the robot when moving from one position to another. We don't have to worry about how the robot will get around the obstacles. That will be handled automatically by Deploy. For this CNC sample application, we just added the front sides and the interior of the machine. After setting up the hardware and workspace, we are now ready to build our CNC machine tending application. With Deploy, there is no longer a need to spend time programming the robot or the program logic. We just have to follow these guided steps which correspond to the configured hardware, and Deploy will build everything for us. The first step is to define our infeed. Just select the type of infeed, the number of parts, and set the pattern location by teaching the 3 corners of the pattern. The robot can be easily moved using the control panel of Deploy. Keep in mind that depending on the infeed type selection, Deploy will ask for the number of positions that need to be taught. It is important to teach these positions following the order of the colored parts shown in the diagram. Now let's set the dimensions and weight of the part by following the diagram. Deploy has an expert mode feature that gives you additional configuration options that change based on the application step. Here, for example, we could edit the center of gravity, acceleration, the default approach and exit positions, or the grip parameters used while running the application. On this next step, we will teach the machine load and approach positions while still holding the part. Since we want to clean the machined workpieces before unloading it, let's add a cleaning step. As before, just teach the necessary cleaning positions. Keep in mind that from now on, the finished part is loaded into the machine. Now let's teach the machine unload and approach positions, but this time with the other gripper. We will also set the new dimensions and weight of the machined part. The final step is to set the outfeed type, the number of parts, and the pattern location by teaching the 3 corners of the pattern. That is all. We have finished building our CNC application. Deploy creates all the program logic, signals exchange, event handling, and robot movement for the entire application, making it a thing of the past to spend time correcting or optimizing your program. Finally, we are now ready to run our application.